I feel like your first like experience with a girl is like way more dramatic than it needs to be.
1000%.
Like I like actually experienced heartbreak now, and I'm like, really, that was lovey. That was child's play. That was a crush.
Welcome back to Made It Out. I'm here with Maddie Zahm.
Hi.
Many of you probably know her from her music that is blown up in the recent years, but if you don't, it's incredible. It's honest. She talks about things like body image, queerness, religious struggles.
Yeah.
And we've asked her here today to share about her journey to loving herself and her body.
Yeah, hi. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm
This is
so
gonna be so
happy you're
fun.
here. We're just going to dive right in.
Yeah,
All right.
let's do it.
Tell me about your childhood.
Oh my goodness. Childhood was honestly pretty like stereotypical. I was raised pretty heavily in the church, but my parents were like the cool parents of the church. So they were like the black sheep, I guess. Like they were the like family that would come and watch like Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
If you wanted, you know what I mean? My parents wouldn't rat you out kind of thing, you know, but yeah, I really love my parents. And it's been interesting over the years seeing the shift from how I was raised versus like my dynamic with my parents now is very different. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How heavily involved were you in the church?
As deeply as you can, just in there. I was really in the church, like worship leader. That was what I was known as in Boise,
Wow.
Idaho. Was like, but I was like in Young Life as a leader, telling people that like I did not believe in homosexuality.
Wow.
It's giving closeted, babes.
Right.
Yeah, like I had Chacos. I had a hydro flask. Like I was listening to Hillsong. I was in it. Yeah.
Did you live in a state where this was like where did you grow up?
100%. Yeah, Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho.
So
okay.
very religious. And specifically my town, it was really interesting. Boise's very, and I love Boise, Idaho. It's one of my favorite places, but it is very like modern church. Like it makes sense why so many people are in the church. Like they advertise it really well. And so it was really interesting to be a part of that and like start from, we were in the church when it was like just a tent, and then it blew up into this like modern Boise church, and it's tricky because they're very good at marketing themselves. Very good.
Jesus' marketing team, they deserve a raise.
Literally. I said, babes, you better talk to Mary about that because y'all deserve something. Yeah.
It was like that in Texas too. It's like they target, just like Young Life, they target the kind of the cool, hip, people. They're like, come be with us, come be part of this.
It's like kind of messed up. I think a lot like back to my middle school experiences. Like it's so weird to me that I like wanted to be a part of the cool crowd like everybody does in middle school where you're like, dang, like they're fucking cool. But like for me looking back, it was like the Young Life crowd. Like that feels so wrong to me that I would look at like the church crowd. Like in what world should a like youth group like present itself as like the cool crowd? Like, like not everyone is invited in the church there, which is so weird.
That's a good point.
Super strange because you show up and they're like drinking Cokes out of like fucking socks, and like the men are like hot, and you're like, yeah, I want to be here. Like, who's Jesus Christ? Like, I'll snuggle up to him. Like, what the hell? Like, if this is where I'm gonna be at every Friday, sign me up. Yeah, it's crazy. They really, Jesus' marketing team. I give you all the raises.
So at what point did you realize maybe you might be queer?
Oh, this is such an interesting question because I feel like a lot of people, it's like obvious for them, like the moments where they're like, oh, like the closet was glass, or like, oh, that was so queer of me kind of thing. But for me, like I really did not have an idea that I was queer. And I think part of it was that I just like my church was very obsessed with this idea of purity culture, which I talk about in my songs. Like I was wearing purity rings when I was like very young. Yeah. Like I begged my father for a purity ring when I was like 15 or 16, which I stan Rob because that man, regardless, all the other dads were like giving their daughters purity rings to like promise that they're going to save themselves for marriage, which is fucking weird.
Yeah.
My dad literally, I remember I begged him for a purity ring and he literally looks at me and goes, that's creepy. No. And I was like, Rob gets it. Like, Rob understands.
Yeah.
That man knew that, like, he's like, that is so sus. Why would I, like, I don't want to know. And I was like, period. But no, I remember we were really obsessed with this, like, idea of purity. And it was seen as very cool to, like, save yourself for marriage. And I think that because I didn't have any experience with, like, any, like, gender or anyone, that I just... that clock didn't even start. Like, I remember they would tell me, oh my God, I'm just having like a flashback of my pastor. He would say, once you start your clock, it doesn't stop. And it's only a matter of time until you're pregnant.
Oh.
And I remember that. And as a kid with OCD, are you kidding? But I think that for me, I just didn't have any experiences to pull from because I was trying so hard to be pure in every aspect, that it really wasn't until I was like 22 that I started really like questioning my sexuality, because I started dating men and I was like, what is this? What? That's crazy. So yeah, but yeah, I think it's been fairly new, but it hasn't felt like that. It's felt like the right timeline, you know?
Mm-hmm. So I want to segue kind of into some of the body image struggles and what you faced with that.
Yeah.
What was some of the messaging that you received around body image and weight?
Yeah.
Growing up?
A lot of the messaging that I received was from the church, and then also just like stuff that my mom had been taught, you know? And, you know, a big thing in my life was like wanting to be a wife. That was like what I was raised to be. And I think that a part of being a wife is being seen as conventionally attractive. And I was watching all of my peers just be very naturally small women. And not only that, but dating men at 16 and getting married at 18. Like, I've been a bridesmaid 7 times in my life. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's crazy to look back and deconstruct where that first started for me, that like, that need to be seen and wanted by not only like myself and my family, but also by like men. And it just like created this drive in me that like, if I want to be a wife, like I need to be XYZ. And honestly, I thank the universe a lot that I was diagnosed with PCOS and that I gained a bunch of weight during that time, because I almost think that it like not protected me, but in a way kind of protected me from like those shallow men that were picking these 16-year-olds to be their wife. Like, I wonder a lot what would have happened had I have not been seen as like conventionally like not attractive. Wow. And I don't know that my life would be where it's at if I hadn't have had that shield to be able to like form my character and form who I am as a person. And now I'm kind of on this weight loss journey, and it's been really interesting to like really think back to that messaging that was so harmful for me. And I could have been in a world of hurt had I have stayed in it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm thinking like, what a beautiful way to kind of take something that caused you a lot of pain and look at it as something that's just,
it was something
that protected you. Yeah. That's
because
really
I was very like, I was a really good Christian. Like, I'm very aware of like, I'm not a half-asser. Like, when I am something, I'm fully it. And like, I think that I would have been a really good wife. And like, I think I would have been trapped in something that, and not necessarily, but like most of the weddings that I like went to like ended in divorce, or like the women not being okay based on like, they were not raising good men. And yeah, it's weird to look back and to know that like in another universe, I lived that life.
Right. I grew up in Texas, and it's a lot of my friends there are already married or have children, and it is a lot of seeking male validation.
Yes.
And I also grew up with a mom who struggles with eating a lot, so that's kind of the messaging that I received of like, not necessarily toward me, like you aren't small enough, but it was more so she would look at herself in the mirror and she's a size 2 and I'm bigger than that. And I'm going, wait a minute. You're big, then what does that mean about me? And so then I think it's just you internalize that and then you act out of that.
Yeah.
So it is, Yeah,
get
it is.
it. Yeah. I remember when I like started losing all of my weight was this weird like obsessive thing where I was like, I need to be seen. I need to be like valued by like the people that I like, specifically men. Like I just needed that validation and I felt like shit after every time. I was never validated. And it was weird because when I started coming out and like really realizing my sexuality, there was just like such a different feeling that I got after like being with a woman. Like it was just, it wasn't this like, I don't know. It was, I mean, it sounds really fucking gay is what it's sounding like, but I just, it's weird. A body has affected me, like body image. And it's still like having a song that's called Fat Funny Friend has been so strange because I have a tendency to talk about things before I've really processed them. And I think that's just like a classic songwriter thing that like I'll be writing songs to process it and then I'll release it and people will be like, oh, she gets it. Like she's gone through it. It's finished. And like what people don't know is that like, I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I still struggle with body image. Like I still have like a weird obsession with losing weight. Like I still, and that doesn't just go away.
Right.
And if anything, it got worse when I started talking about it publicly.
Yeah,
Like it did.
I imagine I was thinking about this yesterday as I'm, kind of preparing for this conversation and I'm thinking about that song. And it's like, I can't imagine in my days where I was even worse, struggling with my weight and really like down bad with it. If I would have gone viral for that specific portion of me and then had all of this attention on me because of something that what was so hurtful to me, I can't imagine what that feels like.
Listen, I remember like, and I actually haven't really talked about this very much, but like, I remember when it started blowing up and it was when I was kind of not, I wouldn't say that I was like a smaller bodied human, but I would say that I had lost a significant amount of weight, but I was still living in this weird like world where I would go to order clothes online and they would show up and they would be 2X and I would like go to put them on and they wouldn't fit and it would send me into a fucking spiral because I just like had no idea what size I was. Like there was no way for me to even comprehend what size, and I still struggle with it. I still don't know what size I am. Like you'll see me walking down and it's not even me trying to like decide whether or not my size is good or bad or anything. It's just like objectively, I wish I was able to look in the mirror and know what I look like. There will be times where I'm like walking down the street and someone will walk next to me and without fail, every time I will look in the window of wherever just to like size myself up to the person that's walking just so that I can have like a little idea of what size I am.
A gauge.
Yeah. It was really fucking jarring to like have access to people's opinions on your body of whether or not I was fat enough to sing Fat Funny Friend, whether or not I was too skinny to sing Fat Funny Friend. And so I had access to this like portal that like when I wanted to just open the app and have people make comments on my body, like I could just do that. And like that, no one should have access to that.
Right.
And I dealt with it on a small scale. I can't even imagine what other like people that are blowing up even bigger that have a conversation of body, like it's jarring.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first video that I saw that wrecked me. It was like, you're telling me that a skinny blonde bitch sings this song, and like it went viral. And I just remember being like, that is crazy to me because I'm still actively being bullied for my weight.
Right.
I'm still actively, you know what I mean? So it's just this, like, I couldn't find I had no idea what I looked like.
That there's no anchor.
There's no anchor. And everybody had opinions on both sides. So it was the most jarring thing that I remember I was in a spiral. And the only thing that brought me comfort during that time was my eating disorder. So, and that is a terrible thing to say, but it's true. So that's one thing I can control.
Struggle with
mixture. I think that when I was younger, very much binge eating. That was a huge one for me. I think, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome when I was 19. And I had gained like 150 pounds or something over a couple years. Even though I hadn't changed much when I was younger, when I was like 16, 17, something like that. I'm terrible with timelines, but, And I remember no one believed me that I like hadn't changed anything, that I wasn't like eating a bunch. And so I was like, well, shit, if I'm gaining all this weight and my doctors don't believe me and my parents don't believe me and my friends don't believe me, then like, why am I not just fucking eating? And then that turned into a binge eating disorder. And then once I started losing weight, it turned into the opposite, like finding control in lack of eating, and feeling in control of myself when I'm not eating, because it feels like something I can hold on to and grasp. And also it's really weird when you spend your whole life losing weight, when that's my North Star, like losing weight, that has been my thing. Like it's a literal personality trait, not a personality trait, but it's like, it's an obsession. And like that has been my North Star for so long. And now that I'm finally at a place where I like am tired of feeling the need to shift and trying to find a healthy relationship with food, like I realized that there was a big why in my life that is missing. Like, what am I if I'm not losing weight? What am I if I'm not celebrating weight loss? What am I if it's like a dopamine hit. And at what point, and I had to come to this conclusion a couple months ago in therapy, like at some point there is no more weight to lose. And at that point, where does my serotonin come from? Where does my why come from? And that was just like, fucking threw me for a loop. And it sounds so terrible to talk about it like this, because I feel ashamed of it, because I don't want to feel this way. And I don't ever look at other people's bodies and think like, oh, they would just look better if they, or like if somebody was treating my friend like that, the way that I treat myself, I'd throw hands.
Right.
I'd curb stomp a bitch.
Right.
Like, absolutely not. But somehow I allow myself to treat myself this way, and it's so weird. So,
yeah, I also struggled with binge eating disorder growing up. And I think it's something there's not a lot of discourse around it. And it is this thing of the way I always looked at it. It was, okay, it's a control mechanism. I'm going to go and eat 6 boxes of donuts because after today, I'm never going to eat a donut again. Right. So it's like this thing of like, okay, I promise
scarcity
I'm never going to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so for me, it's been the weirdest thing to try to overcome in my mind. The fix is not to go on a diet. The fix is to give up the control and say it's okay to eat 1 donut because you're going to eat more donuts in your life.
And then tomorrow you might have a donut, and then on Wednesday you could have another one. Yes. Like there's going to be donuts.
But that does not feel right.
I hear you.
It doesn't feel right to not
I hear you. Yes, because restricting in my mind, if I stop myself from eating a donut now, then I'm never going to have a donut again.
Yes.
Which is so ridiculous, because never once in my life have I been able to not eat the donut.
I know.
And never once in my life has it been the last donut.
Exactly.
It was never the last donut, So instead of, and like I ruin my time.
Yes.
Eating that donut, because I'm not even enjoying the fucking donut. Yes. I'm thinking about the fact that I'm never gonna have a donut again.
Yes.
What the fuck? That's not fun. Leave Krispy Kreme. Change your fucking. You're being stupid.
Yes.
Stop.
It's like that old Buddhist philosophy that's like, if you're gonna steal something, then it's the next best action. You better enjoy what you stole, or else then you're doing even worse by not enjoying it. It's the same type thing.
For real.
Enjoy the fucking donut.
Enjoy the fucking donut. If you're gonna have it, enjoy it. Yes. No, literally. Oh, and I don't know why I can't, like, it's so weird. I don't know if you experience this, but it's so weird to be like a very self-aware human being and also make just choices like that, where it's just like I can pinpoint to you exactly why my behavior is not correct, not healthy, and what I need to do to change it. And here I am, crying at Krispy Kreme.
Doing it. Yep.
Doing the fucking, it's just so, it's infuriating.
Yeah. It's a blind spot that's not totally blind. You just decide to make it blind.
It's given, I'm going to close my eyes, babe. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, it's so, because my friends will talk to me. This is the funniest thing about my personality. And I will give such good advice. Like my friends, I can literally pick apart your problem. No problemo. I can absolutely give you a Word document of what your situation is, how to handle it. You go, you do that.
I'm going to fix your life.
I'm going to fix your life. Mine?
Yeah.
Like I don't even have the Word document open. Like, I don't even have it downloaded. Like it's just like I'm out here raw dogging it.
Yeah.
Is that okay to say? I don't know.
No, please say what. Yes.
Not me saying raw dogging on a lesbian podcast. That's crazy.
You reference and talk about in videos hesitancy towards recovery. Can you explain this a little more?
100%. I'm going to open up a conversation, and it's probably like, I don't have like a period mark on it. I'm still trying to figure out like how I feel about it, but something that I've recently really been struggling with, in recovery is like this feeling of like, I've lost a lot of weight. Like I've lost like 160 pounds, and I'm now noticing that now that weight loss is kind of like coming to a close, like I realistically can only lose so much. Like I'm starting to obsess about other things, and I'm realizing that like the little part of me that wanted to lose all this weight doesn't just go away when it's lost, like it transfers. And now I'm obsessed with this idea of like getting my teeth fixed. All of a sudden I'm obsessed with this idea. And not that, listen, anybody can make any changes to their body that they see fit, but I'm noticing that like that obsession that I have with weight loss, it's like it's going somewhere else. And it's the same way that when I figured out my binge eating, and I haven't struggled with binge eating in a very long time, like that addiction transferred in other areas of my life 100%. Like I went through like a shopping phase. I went through like you know what I mean? That addiction, that addictive personality of needing more. Like once my binge eating was gone, like there were other things that became my binge eating. And now I'm noticing this transfer that's like really freaking me out of like, at what point do I stop? At what point am I happy? At what point do I look at myself and think that's enough, you know? And like, I've never reached that. And so I don't know. And I think I'm scared. I'm scared of not only recovery, because I don't know what that looks like, but I'm also scared of continuing down this journey, reaching whatever the fuck. And I hate the idea of a goal weight, and that's not what's in my brain. But when I was really, really struggling, like the idea of reaching this like pinnacle smallness, or like whatever the fuck it is in my brain, because I was taught that that's desirable. When does it stop? And like, when am I satisfied? And so that's kind of been my question for myself. Like, if I don't stop now, then when, you know? And I am actively putting like barriers in places that like, no, I'm not going to get my teeth fixed, because I can eventually if I want to, but when I'm feeling this hunger, when I'm feeling this, like, we're not going to do it out of that. That's not going to be the reason.
Like the motives.
Right? And so, yeah, it's been very interesting. And especially being in the like public eye or whatever, like people just have opinions. And yeah, it's very confusing.
I have had a lot of plastic surgery. I had a quadruple D boob job. I used to, and I have had liposuction in almost every area of my body. Yeah. I've had a BBL. I mean, I've had it all. And I feel what you're saying. Yeah. Because like, it is this obsession of like, okay, but I know you see this, but I see this. And if I just fix this one thing, and now I've corrected that boob job. I've had to have 2 surgeries since. I hear you. Yeah. To make that go away. Yeah. I have numbness everywhere that I've had lipo. I can't feel my nipples. It's like, so now, but let me tell you this. I'm still going. I'm going to get lasers on my skin in December, because I can't. It's always something. Yep. And let me know the answer when you start to figure this out. And I don't know if I'm ever gonna find it. No, I hear you. Like I got skin removal surgery, and lift? Is it called? Yes. Reduction?
A booba lift. Yeah. And like, I'm still actively upset that I cannot feel my stomach. Like there's just like, and I get it. It's just, but again, it's the fucking Krispy Kreme situation where we're self-aware to see it. And it's just like, but I still want to do it. I still want to do it. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah. No, but I hear you. But like, here's the thing. There's like I think now I'm quite, it's more my motivation behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't doubt that eventually I'll get my teeth fixed. Like but I don't want it to be because I don't like my teeth now. I want it to be because I'm ready for that, or that, you know, like I don't know. I don't want it to come from a self-hatred thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's fucking impossible. It's impossible to be
Human.
It's fucking impossible. And it's like the crazy thing though too is that like my friends will like choose to make choices like that, like getting plastic surgery. I'm like, slay queen.
Yeah.
Like if that is how you feel best, do it.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I need a minute to find homeostasis where I'm at right now because I already don't recognize myself at all. And like the things that are grounding me are my small baby teeth. Like the things that are grounding me right now are just the things about myself that I thought were like ugly or like not desirable or that people make comments about. It's super interesting now that I've lost all this weight. Like those things are really like the only things that I recognize about myself. And now I'm finding like a lot of peace in them, you know, that like, and I want to be able to be somebody that loves themselves with baby teeth. I want to be somebody that loves himself with, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's weird. I don't even know. And it's very strange for me as a songwriter to be having a conversation where I don't know the conclusion. Yeah. Because I love conclusions. My God, I love a turn of phrase. I love ending something, wrapping it up in a bow and being like, yeah, bitch, I'm smart as fuck. So for me to like say that and not know, I don't know. I don't know the right way. I don't know how to fix it. And maybe it's just something that
it's our thing.
Yeah, maybe it's just our thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I do think that. Like,
Yeah.
I think this, whatever this is, even as I've kind of overcome some of the binge eating stuff, I think that will always be my impulse. When I'm not right with myself, I know it because I'm eating fast and I'm searching for food. It's like there's something wrong. My equilibrium is off because I will hound down a meal and I'll still be searching for food. And now it's like my gauge of kind of where I am.
Yeah,
so I do think it will always kind of be this underlying struggle.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to hear someone else's voice. That struggle goes elsewhere.
It goes elsewhere. No, there's so many things. Like there's so many things that your addiction can transfer to. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
I went through like a dating like binge thing where like I was like, I'm gonna go on dates all the time. And like that was like because I was trying not to binge eat. That I was like, I'm just gonna go on a first date like 4 days out of the week. What the fuck? And literally people talk to me about worst first dates. I'm like, dude, it's.
What's the worst one you've been on?
Oh, there was one where one asked if he could bring his brother.
For what reason?
I don't know. He said, can my brother come along? And I literally said, no. That's fucking weird.
Good for you for having boundaries.
Thanks. Yeah, it's giving boundaries. But knowing myself, I'm actually super proud of myself at that time because my ass, like the people pleaser in me would have been like, yeah, absolutely. I'll bring my sis. Like, no worries. Like, my God, he wants me to meet the family already? That's crazy. Yeah. The first dates, especially specifically with men, I like think about my first kiss with a man. Yeah. So maybe this is a moment where like I knew that I was queer. Y'all, my first kiss, okay? 22 years old. I want you to be in this with me, you know, like really imagine yourself in this, okay? You're in the car. This man's clearly wanting to kiss me. I'm having a fucking heart attack. There are about 16 things on my list that I would rather do than kiss this man at this moment, right? But at this point, I'm 22, right? And it's time to get it over with, which, you know, let's rip the Band-Aid off, babe. You know? Like, at this point, I started listening to secular music. All bets were off. Like, I'm having my fucking first kiss, okay? I kept my puffer jacket on. And we got in the car. I knew he was going to kiss me. I buckled my seatbelt. Me and my puffer jacket, seatbelt, turn the car on. I'm hoping this fucker's getting out at this point. Like I'm ready to go. I know this bitch wants to kiss me. We kiss, and I literally went, aw, afterwards.
Oh, no, not
aw. Verbally. I said, aw. And if that man is listening, I honestly hope he hears my songs sometimes, and I really hope that he hears how gay I am.
Yes.
It wasn't you. It wasn't you. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that was my first kiss with a man, and I still think about him. I
like
still hope
one of
he's
those
doing
moments
well.
that haunt
Yeah,
you. Like.
Absolutely. So crazy.
So how do you think all of the struggles with body image and your weight affected your awareness of your being queer?
I think about this a lot. Actually, I genuinely feel like I would not have come out of the closet had it not have been for Fat Funny Friend and that community. I remember when I first posted Fat Funny Friend, a majority of the reason that I had posted it then was because I was on that weight loss journey. And my publisher at the time was basically like, this is a really important song. And I was like, I'm going to put it on the internet. I'm going to put one little video of it. And then I'm going to move on from it because I know that I can post it now, but it's not going to be in good taste if I lose more weight. And then I post Fat Funny Friend. Like, and now I've realized like that community has been so good for me in the way of like showing me that once you are the Fat Funny Friend, like you'll always be the Fat Funny Friend. And so to be so afraid of putting a song like that and then having the reaction that I did, I think it just like opened me up to like a new community and like a community of people that like really loved me and I should have been friends with in high school. Like those are the people that I should have surrounded myself with. That for me, I was like, well, shit, like if there's a community for this and I'm, you know, kissing my best friend secretly and like I know this part of my identity, like I just knew that there was going to be a community that was going to find it. And so I remember like posting You Might Not Like Her and just the queer community, just like it felt like a fucking warm hug. I will forever remember it. I also remember my mother and I had told her that I was queer, that I was going to come out for this EP. My sweet little mom, love her so much. Rough coming out the first time, mostly because now looking back, my mom very much like, it wasn't that she was upset that I was queer. I think that she was upset that there was a part of me that I didn't share with her. And it felt like she should have been able to clock it. Like to her, it was like, oh no, because you're my daughter and we've been this close for as long as we have been. There's a part of you that I don't know about. Like that can't be true. That can't be true that you, like you're my best friend. Like I would know. I know you so well. And that was really difficult for her. And I misread it as not being down with the gays. And so I remember I came home and when we had finally, like, she really realized the full, like the seriousness in my tone of like, no mom, like I'm queer. For my birthday, I came home and I literally remember riding in Isaac's car, my friend from Boise. And I told him, I was like, I have a bad feeling about what I am walking into in my home. And I can't explain it. I literally don't know why I have this weird feeling in my heart. I walked in and the amount of rainbow shit that was in my mother's house. Like a balloon. Like, here's the thing. It was like kind of borderline homophobic how ally it was. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like, Mom, I love you. I get it. Like, I totally hear you. But also, and she swears to this day, like literally swears to this day that it was the only option. That was the only decorative thing. I'm like, really? In Boise, Idaho? You, like, the only thing was ally shit is crazy, Mom. But she literally will die on this hill still to this day. She's like, it was that or zebra. Like, it had nothing to do with the gay thing. I'm like, Mom, don't even. I literally don't believe you. But so fucking funny. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the body stuff, like especially, you know, we talked about the church, like being raised in purity culture, didn't start my clock for reasons such as like wanting to be pure. And then I think that when I gained all the weight, I just was so like insecure and didn't really put myself out there because I was receiving so much ridicule for my body that like I didn't have a lot of experience. And then when I was like after that first kiss with my guy in my puffer jacket, I think I really went like something is not right here. Like something is not clicking. And yeah, that kind of kickstarted me realizing that like I was just late to the game. And I think I would have figured it out at any age, but I just was too busy singing Oceans by Hillsong.
Great song.
And having crushes on other worship leaders that don't wear shoes. So, yeah. But it is a great song. That song, literally, it hits. It bangs. It does.
I also used to sing in church.
This makes so much sense.
And I also tried out for American Idol. Oh. I'm not kidding. Made it through.
Oh my God.
A couple rounds.
Crazy.
But a lot of my struggle, how I feel is I didn't keep singing because I was so body dysmorphic.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
That I like was like, nope, I can't be seen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go down that road.
Yeah.
And so it really kept me from a lot of what I feel I should have been doing. And so now I feel the same way. Like mine's kind of in the reverse. Coming out was something that really helped me heal my body issues because it was something that I turned inward for the first time and started looking at my wants and needs and my desires. And I said, okay, well, I can love this part of me. Other people love this part of me. And it was really healing for my eating issues. So same, but just in the reverse. And now it's this unraveling and I'm like, fuck, I'm doing all the wrong things. I should be.
It's not too late.
I'm sure there's some, ultimate plan and it's fine.
Yes.
But it is interesting how everything is weaved together and one kind of sparks the other to heal.
Exactly. Do you know what I heard something recently that like really changed my perspective? Because I definitely live in like regret of like, oh, what if? And I feel like I've gone through a lot in the past 2 years of like, oh, like what if I had done this differently or whatever. But something that my mom said a couple weeks ago, she was like, just because it would have been different doesn't mean it would have been better. And that has like helped me find a lot of peace and like where I'm at. Like, look at the life that you've built.
Yeah.
Like, you've done great. But
all right. Tell me about your first girl.
oh my God.
It's 8-Ball Girl, right? Okay,
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's crazy. I feel like your first like experience with a girl is like way more dramatic than it needs to be.
1,000%.
Like I like actually experienced heartbreak now and I'm like, really, that was lovey. That was child's play. That was a crush. Yeah. No, it's like crazy to look back. The amount of emotions that I felt for maybe a 3-week situationship is unreal.
It was 3 weeks? Oh my God.
I don't want to talk about
3 years.
Oh, it's giving I've been in love with her my entire life, babes. It's giving long lost lover. No,
honestly, it's giving lesbian.
Yeah, it's giving U-Haul, babes. Yeah, and now we're like really good friends and laugh about it.
Oh, cute.
So, yeah, no, it was. I remember like at the time. So funny. I mean, like I had like kissed a couple girls, but I was very much like I was a girl you didn't want to be friends with. I was like, no, like I just kiss girls when I'm drunk. But you only kiss girls when you're drunk, and that is where the gay shit comes in. You know what I mean? It's not a little fun thing. It's like like you exclusively kiss girls.
Yes.
So, but I remember with her, we had always had like a flirty vibe, and I had like kind of always felt that, and I just, now looking back at our friendship, like it was always crush based, at least for me. And then we ended up hooking up and we both were laughing. I remember us both like questioning, like, does that make us gay? Like, yes, it does. It does. Yeah. We both were very much like, oh, like we're just like bi girls being bi. Like, it's just like silly. And it ended up being actually like kind of a heartbreak. Yeah. Because I think that first girl that you're with, like, it just like fucks you up. It really does. And she wasn't ready to come out, and that was just devastating for me. Oh my God. Like, you don't know in 3 weeks? That's crazy. Like, hurry up. Like, you don't want to tell your parents? That's insanity. No, but now I look back, I'm like, girl, take all the time you need. Like, do not. It's so funny. But I have a lot of respect for her. And yeah.
Were you out after that? Like, you switched the apps, everything was...
I did,
okay,
yeah.
Full send.
Well, so I remember I technically like came out to my parents for her. Okay. Because I like was delusional and like was like, oh yeah, like we're in love. And so I came out, and I came out for the EP too. Like it was like all at the same time. I was really ready to be like out and gay and queer and have like my binge year of, I feel like when you come out, it's like, it's just all gay all the time. Yeah. Like, do you have any other personality trait? No.
Literally
it's
no.
Exclusively being gay.
I'm still like that.
No.
look at what we're doing.
Same. It's never gone away. No, literally. True. No, do you know what, the other day I was playing a game with my family? Oh my God. And so have you ever played Fishbowl?
No.
Okay, so basically, like, pull the name out. Okay. You, like, pull something, and it's, like, a verb or a noun or anything, and then you have to, like, everybody has to guess it kind of thing. So they pulled it out, and it was my name, and they pointed at me, and my whole family screams, queer! Like, I'm like, over my name?
That's good branding.
Thank you. I said, yeah. You know what? My parents naming me worked hard, but my managers are working hard. So thank you. Yeah. Crazy, but yeah.
So where do you stand today with your queerness, with your body? How are you feeling?
Ooh. I think right now, like with my queerness, it's been really interesting to really be quite like disinterested in dating right now, and finding like solace in growing and yeah, just trying to figure myself out. I mean, I think sexuality is so interesting for me because I think that I had lost a bunch of weight, was not really like sure of who I was as a human being, and then like my queerness was kind of like a north star for me a little bit there for a minute. Like it really like it did give me a lot of peace to like, okay, I know this one thing about myself. Like I know I'm so sure about this. And it's been really interesting to like also kind of go through a phase and I don't know if it's because I'm like going through a heartbreak or what, but like where I'm finding that it's more fluid than I really thought that it was. And just trying to navigate that and what that means for my identity and how much of it is what I was raised in the church and stuff that like need to please men and all those kinds of things. It's been very interesting. It's just a fucking charcuterie board of of weirdness, and I'm really trying to figure it out and giving myself a lot of space and grace to figure it out. The body stuff is really the same. I think I'm learning to have grace for myself and also like I'm really trying to find that limit of like when is enough and wondering had I have started taking care of myself and loving myself emotionally and doing the work internally and put as much effort as I did into that as I have losing weight and changing myself, like I wonder where I would be. And I'm starting to do that now and really work on that. So it's been it's very much a growth phase of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of troubleshooting. It's like you overcorrect. Because I did the same thing. You come out and then you're like, I am so gay. I'm so fucking gay.
So gay. Yeah.
You know?
So gay. Yeah.
And then you get to a point where you're like, okay, but hold on. Now I've built this entire identity on being gay.
Yeah.
The world knows I am so gay, but like, am I actually so gay?
Yeah.
And it's like important to keep having those conversations with yourself. Yeah. I usually do always land on, yes, I am still so gay.
It's never landed anywhere else. And I will tell you that. And I'll let you know if it ever does. And I hear you. Yeah.
Yes. But important to check in with yourself and with the body stuff. Just like always checking in. Presence. It's a presence practice with yourself of like, where am I? Where am I? Where am I?
Recently, the they thems kind of have me. I'm like, my heart is just like, I've been talking to a non-binary human who is really, we've talked a lot about like sexuality and like they've really taught me a lot about how fluid it is and how it is totally okay to feel one way one day and not feel it the next. And like that is very weird for me being raised in the church.
But how beautiful that we get this exposure living here.
Oh, 100%.
To be able to even open our minds a little bit because a lot of people don't ever get that.
No.
So yeah.
And it's not all black and white.
Yeah.
Like I was raised to be a very black and white thinker. And like, that's miserable. I have never found peace in black and white.
But how interesting also that like binge eating is so black and white.
Oh yeah.
And it's like learning to live in that, like the gray.
Yeah.
That is so uncomfortable.
And there will be donuts later. You know what I mean? Like
we're going to have some donuts right after this.
Can we act? Yes. Just making sure. I just feel like that's not something to joke around about. I want to go ahead and just clarify that. You know what I mean? Because I will be thinking about those. But yeah, it's been really interesting to just find peace. And I honestly, here's the thing. I came out and then I was like exploring a little bit, but then I like got into a really serious relationship. And this is the first time that I've really been in like an exploring phase. And that'll just like, what the fuck?
I love it. I'm here for it. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Oh, that is a crazy thing to say. It's wild out there. The apps.
Yeah, I guess it's like easy for me to say from like secure relationship.
Yeah, no, literally.
Let me hear about all your...
hear about it. No, literally. It's giving, can I bring my brother? And like, it's like, but like queer edition. It's like, can I bring my ex?
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's
God.
crazy. No. And like, I thought, here's the thing. I really thought that I was going to avoid like I hope this is okay to say. I feel like I thought I was going to like avoid like the toxicity of men by like not dating. It's in a different font. It's in therapy and still is toxic.
Yes.
You know?
Which is a whole other level.
Whole other level.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're just spending $800 a month and you're still talking to your ex. That's crazy behavior. I don't even want to talk about masks. I can't even get on that topic. I can't. So
that's for another episode.
That's
literally.
for another fucking episode. God damn. Crazy.
What advice would you give to someone who has chronically struggled with body image?
I kind of said it before, but one of my biggest regrets and part of the reason that I don't advocate for weight loss is that like I think that there is something really beautiful about taking all of the energy that I have spent over the years, like trying to lose weight or to reject the body that I have right now and have had, like into loving it. And I just, as somebody who has lost 160 pounds and has done the thing that like I think a lot of people with eating disorder aspire to do, like I'm still as miserable in my body as I was before. And I think that it never was about my body to begin with. Like it just never was. And I think that me figuring that out now feels like I was gypped from 7 years of my life because it took me getting to where I thought I wanted to be to realize that like I'm still unhappy. And the amount of work that I'm about to have to put into in this body to love myself would have been the same amount of work had I just started 7 years ago. And like it was never about my body. And I think that my biggest advice is to realize that now before you make life-altering decisions to be a version of yourself that you could be at any size, any body. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's beautiful. Okay, we take advice, submissions through our website for everybody asking.
Me like having whiskey and giving life advice. Like I have any like grounds to tell people how to live their life.
We're going to try.
Yeah, literally.
All right. Hey, made it out. My name is Lauren. I'm 24 and I'm newly exploring women. I've gone on a few dates with a girl who I like, but we haven't been physical at all because the thought of being naked with a woman is giving me crippling anxiety. I know how critical I am of my own body, so I can only imagine what she might think. How do I get out of my head?
I feel that so deeply. I think that the right person is going to make it easy. And even if it isn't easy, I think that it's going to get easier. And I think that if you really like that human and they really like you, and that's like a next step, I think that there is beauty in allowing yourself to be uncomfortable and allowing someone to comfort you, you know? And also there's such beauty in, I usually put myself in like their shoes, like when I'm feeling insecure like that, where like the amount of like times where I've like been with a woman and like her body is so different than mine, and like the way that I have appreciated that, like oftentimes like I try to reverse it and I think, what would somebody think of me? And like if it is a person that is deserving of your time and of your body, then they're going to view you exactly the way that you would view yourself in reverse. And I think that that has really helped me in a lot of times of like, God, I would feel so lucky. And like if it's the right person and they are deserving, then that's how they're going to make you feel too, you know?
I love it. Maddie is going on tour. We're going to come see you in March.
Oh,
March 14th.
are we going out after?
In LA? Yes, of course we are.
Amazing.
But please tell us about your tour so everybody else can come and see you.
Oh my God. I love tour. It is my favorite thing about music other than the writing process. My tour is just like a fucking safe place. Like for my favorite thing of being an artist is like, especially because my EP like talks about 5 really important things, like body, image, religion, all that kind of stuff. So when I meet somebody that knows my music, my favorite thing is to like try and guess which trauma category they fall into. And like on tour, it's all of us. It's all of us trauma girlies crying together, singing gay bops. It's gay church. It's time to shit on your ex. Like it is so fun. And I genuinely, it's like church if church was like safe. Is what it feels like.
I can't wait.
Oh, we're gonna have
we'll
so much
link your website in the show notes.
Done.
So that everybody can get tickets.
So excited.
And we'll be there.
So fun. I'm so excited. This was so fun.
I know. I love this.
This was so good.
Okay, we play a game.
Okay.
It's called You Haul or You Ghost.
Okay. All right. Oh, God.
Still talks to her ex's family.
Oh, you ghost.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the same page with this one.
Especially family. That's given you're hoping for something, babes.
Yeah,
You go deep. Yeah. Like the ex is one thing. I mean, like still ghost, but like family. Thank you. Next.
I agree.
Good. Thanks.
She only watches cartoons.
Like only exclusively?
Exclusively cartoons.
Exclusively. It's the exclusively that's throwing me off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's gotta be you ghost. And only because of the exclusively.
Yeah.
Nothing
Cartoons
else.
are smart.
Yeah.
I enjoy them.
But you watch other things.
Yeah, fair.
It's the exclusively that gets me.
Yeah.
I'm really like, I'm hell-bent on that. Okay. You know?
We're ghosting.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She says, I love you on the 3rd date.
Oh. Love bomb. Here's the thing. I'm like, I think that I am the perfect person to love bomb though, because I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I'll love you too. I feel like I would unfortunately U-Haul.
Like, oh my God,
like
you love me?
I want to say that I would like not, but my history proves that I'd be like, that's on track. I'm used to that.
Girl same.
And then it's giving. I fall for them. Yeah. I do. Yeah. So like, are they masked? Are they like, what's the like? You know what I mean? Like, are they like? Do they also kind of treat me bad? Like.
Okay. She lied about her age on the apps and is like way older. Actually, maybe not way older. Maybe it's just like 2 years older.
I'm okay with that.
Really?
I mean, now I'm wondering if I shouldn't be, but like,
Sorry.
It's better than younger. Like 2 years older, it's giving like, I love a confident bitch. Like,
but to me, it's giving not confident.
Okay, I hear you.
To me, it's giving like, why did you lie about your age? Be proud that you're 2 years.
2 years. Like, did the app like not update? You know what I mean?
Oh, I love that about you. You're very forgiving.
I'm like, I don't know. There might be circumstances.
Fair.
But I guess I can see how it's a red flag that like cartoons really threw me off. But like lying about their age online, I'm like, I can fix it.
Fine.
It's fine.
Beige flag.
Yeah, beige flag. Okay. Yeah, no, it would U-Haul probably.
All right. I love it. Thank you so much. We've been drinking whiskey for the past hour because Maddie's insane. Last cheers. Do you have anything else to add to say? No pressure.
The whiskey and donuts.
All right. Yeah. Eat the fucking donut.
Eat the fucking donuts. Stop crying in the Krispy Kreme, you bitch.
Thank you guys for listening to today's episode. You can find our guest at Maddie Zahm, our show at Made It Out Podcast, and me at Mal Glowinky. This episode was produced and edited by Matilda Jordan and worked on solely by lesbians. And as always, please help us spread the gay agenda by writing us a review on Apple, rating us on Spotify, and sharing with every single person you know.
Apologies, Brad. Your penis is beautiful, but I'm a lesbian. I actually say this all the time. I've said this before.